Hello, I'm Tanya from English Challenges, and today's live lesson is fabulous. If you are sick and tired, to use a binomial from last week, if you're sick and tired of mispronouncing those little tricky words. So in addition to practicing, of course, and listening to audio, homophones can be a really great asset. If you are a challenger, remember to check your email. I emailed you the notes for today's lesson, so everything is written out for you. If you're not a challenger, what are you waiting for? Go to EnglishChallenges.com, sign up. I give you monthly, weekly challenges, and you get the notes and a reminder delivered to your email 1 hour before every live lesson. Pretty VIP, right? And if you're watching the rebroadcast, the link to sign up is in the video notes. Okay, so homophones, what are they? Homophones are words that have different spellings, so different letters, but they have the same pronunciation. And sometimes, especially for language learners, the multiple uses of sounds for letters and vowels in English can be a little bit confusing. So this is just one way to reduce that confusion. Okay, so let's get started. And remember, you can check the notes as we go along. If you're watching the rebroadcast, I'll link to the notes down in the video notes as well. For example, which I actually just used the word that we're doing, the word for and for. So F-O-R and then the number F-O-U-R. I find that some of my students will say for. They'll try to force two syllables, but it's actually the same exact pronunciation. So when you're doing maybe when you're making a reservation, you would say, I would like to make a reservation for 4 people. Same pronunciation. For 4 people. And remember, if you're watching the live, feel free to try to use the homophones in a sentence. Let me know where you're from and participate. English is not about passive learning. I mean, it can be, but it's not as much fun. If you want to have fun with it, you gotta use it. So practice. Type in the comments. Type and let me know anything about you. More importantly, try to use the homophones. Okay, the next one. This one is, I especially find that for my Spanish speakers, it tends to be a little more confusing, and that's the number 1. O-N-E. I find some of my students say oni, but it's actually the same pronunciation as the homophone, one, W-O-N. Like, I won the lottery, I'm rich. Or, I have 1 car, I have 1 child, whatever. So it's the same pronunciation. Hello, Jose from Colombia. Thank you for coming. Okay, so the next one is bald. So this one, it could be bald, like someone who has no hair. So that's B-A-L-D, bald. Now it's the same pronunciation of the word bald, L-E-D. So B-A-W-L-E-D. Now that one, I'll be honest, it's very confusing. I find that people usually pronounce it BAWLED. BAWLED, you know how English is with the past tense. We have a lot of variations. So when you study the homophone, it really makes it a lot easier. And by the way, if you don't know what bald, B-A-W-L-E-D means, it means to cry, but like really cry profusely. It's very dramatic. She bawled her eyes out when she watched the movie Titanic. So here, instead of BAWLED, it might be difficult to remember, but if you're studying the homophone, you're like, okay, bald, bald. So this will help you make a faster connection. Hello from Iran. Oh, I'm so excited. I have only one life. Excellent sentence. Okay, yeah, try using these in sentences. And if I have time, I'll try to correct them as we go along. And the next one is blue, like the color blue, B-L-U-E, or blue, the past tense of blow, like to blow a candle. So blue. Now, the reason this one's great is because for the color, some people might think it's blue, blue. But if you study the homophone, or if you have a little bit of confusion with the past tense of blow and you think it's blow, blow, which it even feels weird, but when you study the homophones and you realize, oh, Blue. So he blew the blue candle. And when you put two homophones or more in the same sentence, if you notice, I keep doing that. And if you're my Instagram follower, you probably gave me some sentences with that. The reason is when you put it in the same sentence, it helps you remember that it's the same pronunciation and it gives you context to remember the definition. If you've been my student or my follower, you know I hate memorization unless you're taking a test. But for real life, your brain doesn't have time to recall things that you memorize in a fast conversation. So the best way to do it is to learn through context. So he blew the blue candle. So then that gives you, you can imagine it. And notice that when I say it, I actually do. These are little things that will help you associate a physical movement or trait with the meaning, with the definition, without memorization. All right. Thanks, Jose. I'm glad you liked the example. So the next one is cereal. So we have two, Cereal. Now this one, if you're a Spanish speaker, you might say cereal. So that can be tough when you have words that look the same but have different pronunciation. So we really want to practice those, to have smoother English. So we have cereal, which sounds the same. By the way, if you don't know, cereal is typically a breakfast food. You put cereal in a bowl with milk and you eat it up. Or cereal, Serial. Now that one, if you're like me and you love crime shows, then you know you've heard this for serial killers. Which, by the way, if you like crime shows, let me know in the comments what shows you like to watch. I'm a fan of Criminal Minds, NCIS, Rizzoli and Isles, pretty much all of them. Okay, so you have serial killers with the S, and then maybe serial killers don't like to eat cereal in the morning. It's super silly, but you can visualize it and it might make you laugh. You're like, why am I talking about serial killers eating cereal? But now, again, you're visualizing, you're not memorizing. And it helps you remember that it's the same pronunciation. Okay, let me check my list. By the way, if you are a challenger, remember, check your email. I sent you the notes. And the next one is possibly one of my favorites. And there is a little variation. So depending on where you're from or where your teacher's from, how you were taught to pronounce this word. But it is what you are wearing. Now, a lot of my students hate this word, and I totally get it because they think it's clothes. I have a lot of clothes. Ooh, no. But that TH sound is a huge struggle for most languages because a lot of languages don't have that same sound. Now, this word, the way I pronounce it, it's the same pronunciation as clothes. And by this one, it's CLOSE, but only the noun or verb form. Because if you use it as an adjective, like close, the sisters were very close. They did everything together. That's different. I'm talking about, hey, close the door. It's freezing outside. Close the door. So that's the same pronunciation as clothes. So maybe we can think of close the door. I'm not wearing enough clothes for the weather. I mean, that's kind of a bad one, but we can refine it. Let me know in the comments if you have a better sentence. So close and close the door. So here I'm hoping all of you are just like, oh, breathe in, breathe out. You've got it. You can now talk about shopping for clothes with confidence. And like I said, some people pronounce that a little bit differently. They might enunciate the TH sound more, but I find this one's easier and that's how I pronounce it. So to me, that sounds really good. Let me check the comments for some ideas. Okay, this the serial attacks on cereal producers by, are you Monsanto? Okay, is continuing. Okay, good. The serial attacks, the constant attacks on cereal producers. Excellent. Thank you for the example. Okay, next one. Sometimes we get lucky and we have 3 homophones. So 3 words that sound the same. So the next one is CITE. We have CITE, CITE, like the building site is not ready. You know, we have a lot to do. We have, oh no, sorry, that's a different one. CITE is when you cite, like if you're writing a research report, you probably won't use that unless you either do research or maybe you're a student. So to cite something. And then the next one, SITE, that's the building site, so the location. And then the third homophone, and you might be really excited about this one, SIGHT. So you don't have to worry about, I find some of my students pronounce this CITE, SIGD. The GH is silent. So now you know this is your site. So site, SIGHT, site, sounds the same as SITE and CITE. So especially if you're coming from a language that pronounces the E at the end of words, like Portuguese. So it's not CITE or CITE, it's CITE. Okay, excellent. So now what I did is I have the most amazing Instagram followers and I asked them, I'm like, okay, you have a writing challenge. So their challenge was to use homophones in the same sentence. So if you're a challenger or you're watching the rebroadcast, check out the notes for today's live lesson. In the lesson right now, I'm going to go over some of the examples that are correct. But if you're curious about examples with mistakes, if you want to see what other language learners often confuse, check them out. I included 3 for each word, so you can see how a non-native speaker tried to use the homophones, and then I corrected their mistakes, because I find most of us make the same mistakes over and over. Okay, so the next one is allowed. ALOWED, allowed, which means permitted, to have permission. And allowed, ALOUD, which means to voice. Now, as a bonus, I included a link in the notes because some people are confused, even native speakers, when to use allowed and when to use out loud. So if you want an explanation on that one, feel free to use it. Okay, so a few examples from my followers. Feel free to write it in the comments as we're going along. I wasn't allowed to read it aloud. So it's not allowed. This is where I'm obsessed with homophones for the past tense. By the way, the sun is coming out and now it's blinding me. Okay, so it's not allowed. So if the past tense confuses you, if you can find a homophone for the word, it can help you remember it. And again, notice all of my examples use the homophones in the same sentence. This helps you remember pronunciation and the definition by using context. It's super, super efficient. Okay, the next one. Singing aloud is not allowed. Maybe at work, maybe at the library. It is not allowed to speak aloud in here. A museum? A library again? Okay, let's see what we have from the live lesson followers. Oh, you are not allowed to speak aloud in this room. Nice, see? Similar sentences, I love it. Okay, next one, which. So there's WHICH or which, WITCH, which you'll see that a lot when talking about Halloween this time of year. Which are you talking about? So the one with the T, you can think of it, you know what? You can pretend the T is like, the stick is the person, and the top of the T, maybe it's like a little hat. So that can be a way to remind you. The one with the T, the which with the T refers to the person, the witch, the character in a lot of Halloween movies or novels. So which are you talking about? The witch wore a black dress which had feathers on it. And as I'm saying them aloud, if you're not reading the notes along with me, try to envision which word goes where. And which do you like? Now for this one, with the examples that I got, so definitely check the notes, there were a lot of corrections. I found that some people used which when they should have used who or that. So that's really good to practice, and I have some examples of those there. Okay, let me get some more examples from the comments. Hello from Iran, hi. Okay, so you were not allowed to read this aloud in front of the kids. Wonder what scandalous text that was. Very good example. Okay, the next one, your and your. So we have the contraction YOU apostrophe RE, which is short for you are. And then we have your, the possessive YOUR. A lot of people, because the other one has more letters, I find that I've heard it pronounced your. They think because it has more letters, maybe it has a different pronunciation. So this is where homophones are your best friends because it reminds you, it connects it. So let's check out the examples. I love this one. You're your own hero. So you are your own hero. I love it. So motivational. So yes, you are. And that one, because it's right next to each other, again, you want to focus on your mouth. So look at my mouth when I say it. You're your own hero. Your. Same mouth movement because it's the same pronunciation. The next one, you're so nice like your mother. Oh, you're so nice like your mother. And the last one, you're never too, oh my gosh, my Instagram followers must have been in a very good mood. Check this one out. You're never too old to follow your dreams. So you're never too old to follow your dreams. Okay, excellent. Oh, we've got some more examples over here. Ukraine, excellent. The Witches of Harry Potter, great. You're yourself. Okay, so there you connected it with the yourself, which is one word. Excellent work. Okay, and again, if you're looking at the notes for the lesson, I've included some common mistakes and I've highlighted where they were wrong. So I noticed that there were some tendencies, some patterns, and I tried to pull the examples that had the most mistakes that I saw over and over again. So that might be something that you're doing and that'll be great for you to check out. Okay, and then we have, I think, 2 more for today. So the next one is, this is a triple whammy. We have 2, 2, and 2. Now this one, most people I find pronounce T-O and T-O-O correctly. I found that some people struggle with the number 2 because it has a W. So the number is T-W-O. And some of my students, I've heard it TWO or TWO. So the W is actually silent. So when you realize that these are homophones, you make the connection. Okay, 2, 2, 2. And this one was really fun for examples. Okay, they are too young to have 2 degrees. So they are too young, T-O-O, to have, so we have the infinitive, T-O, 2 degrees, T-W-O. And the next one, it is too hard to find 2 people with the same interests. So it is too hard, T-O-O, to find, so the infinitive, T-O, 2 people, T-W-O, with the same interests. Yeah, that can be true. The last one, to have 2 lovers is too hard to handle. That sounds like an episode from Sex and the City. Let me know in the comments if you watch that show. So to have, T-O, 2 lovers, T-W-O, is too hard, T-O-O, to handle. Oh, we have another T-O. Excellent work. And remember, I know I keep repeating this, but because it's that important. When you're learning homophones, the definitions, you can read them if it helps you, but what's really important is finding sentences with or making sentences with both or all 3 homophones. It helps you understand the meaning, which is way more powerful than memorizing the meaning. Okay, let me see here. More Iranians, fabulous. I'm so excited you have access to YouTube. I had some followers tell me that they were having a difficult time. So I'm so happy you're here. Okay, let me check out the next one in the notes. Okay, so the last one for today is there. So we have there, T-H-E-I-R, there, T-H-E-R-E, and there, T-H-E-Y apostrophe R-E. Now this one's cool because I haven't heard like major pronunciation mistakes, but just subtle ones. And really it's those subtle things that if you improve them, it helps you sound more natural, like a native speaker. So instead of there, very, there, it's just there. Now the most important part there is look at the mouth. There. Look at my tongue. I mean, that's an awkward thing to say, but look at my tongue. I'm glad I brushed my teeth. So there. For the TH sound here, your tongue comes out. So it comes out and you almost bite it a little bit. The. And when you say you should feel a slight vibration because the TH has slightly different sounds. So for these words, it vibrates a little bit. There, there. And then the tongue goes back for the E. There. Excellent. I hope you're practicing with me. And I hope that if you're in public, you're very confident. But do it anyway. Who cares? Okay, so for some examples, they're very happy there with their games. So they're very happy, the apostrophe, they are. There, so that location, with their games. So the games belong to them. They're waiting for their food there. So they are waiting. They're waiting for their food, the food they ordered, there, that place, that location. And finally, their home is so, oh, this is a good one. Their home is so big and there are 7 rooms, but they're always in the living room. Isn't that true? I feel like no matter how big the place is, everyone hangs out. Usually for me, my family always hangs out in the kitchen. In this case, the living room, but let me know where your family hangs out. For us, no matter how big the house is or the place is, the kitchen is the heart. Okay, back to the example. Their home, so E-I-R, their home is so big and there are, so this one's different than location, but same spelling, T-H-E-R-E. There are 7 rooms, but they're always in the living room. They're always, they are always. All right, fabulous work. So again, the last few examples were from my Instagram followers. So if you don't follow me yet, I would love to have you follow me there. And I post a lot of challenges. So check out the stories because that's where people submit their sentences. And if you want the notes, if you're watching the rebroadcast or after this posts, you can check the video notes for all of the sentences and examples that I gave you with a bonus of some common mistakes. So I corrected some mistakes from non-native speakers, and I think you might find that you maybe would recognize like, oh, I would have said that incorrectly. So this will help you get some free advice. And if you're looking for some fluency planning, I have an awesome course on Udemy with over 2 hours of coaching. And this is not to teach you specific English skills. This course is a little special in that if you're intermediate to advanced and you study by yourself, or if you have some other things, but you want to make sure you have something daily to do, I offer you skills and tips on how you can include everything from 1-minute activities to 1-hour activities to make sure that you're really consistent. And remember, English is not just passive learning. I want you to use it. And if you're thinking, Tanya, I have no one to talk to. If you want to pay for teaching, of course, you can sign up for a class with me. But even if not, talk to your pet. Talk to your mirror. Talk to yourself. Just make sure that you're voicing it. Because I don't know about you, but when I try to speak a different language, if it's only been used here, I don't know what happens from my brain to my mouth, that when it comes out, it just does not sound as beautiful as it did in my brain. And that means you need to practice more. Okay, make sure you give a thumbs up, heart, like it, subscribe. If you do subscribe, hit the notifications bell because that will give you an alert. So if you're interested in joining my live lessons every Tuesday, I would love it. Thank you so much for everyone who participated today in the live lesson. I didn't see all of the messages, but I'll check those later. It was so nice to meet you. Thank you for your participation. You're genuinely the reason I'm doing this now. I love, love, love getting to know you. So thank you so much. Head to EnglishChallenges.com for extra videos, free resources, and tips. And I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.